And B2 is a scenario where we assume that the development in basin still continues, but with a focus on environmental issues. So they came out with a figure that even under the A2 B2 scenario, the rainfall in Mahanadi basin is expected to increase by 50 to 20%. In this particular slide, I'm showing the results which we obtain on the basin water balance. On the left hand side, you will see the Veep configuration. This is the entire basin which we plotted in Veep. So the light blue line here is the main river, is the river Mahanadi and its tributary. The blue circle with arrows, they represent the flow site where the stream flow is measured in the Mahanadi basin. The triangles show the reservoir, all the reservoirs that are there in Mahanadi basin. The square, they show the groundwater aquifers, and the red dot, they reflect the demand side. So there would be demand for agriculture, there will be demand from industries, there will be demand for meeting urban water needs, rural water needs. So all this was plotted. And when we looked at the water balance, so base case is nothing but the current scenario, what is happening. So what you will see that if we take year 2030 and year 2050, the water deficit remains under all the scenarios. But under the climate change scenario, what we see, the deficit actually comes down. And this is because the projection shows that rainfall is going to increase. But still, the deficit remains. So which basically means, our further analysis shows that there is no problem in water availability, even in the, let's say dry years in Mahanadi Basin. But the real problem is on the water demand management side. So right now, most of the agriculture there, it is most of it is on the flood irrigation aspects. There are no much adoption of micro irrigation systems in these places because of the crop. Most of the area is under paddy, and it is very difficult to have any micro irrigation for paddy or rice. The other aspect which can be seen here was the less infrastructure development. So the infrastructure to convey water from the point of availability to the point of demand is also missing. So what we assessed is, by using this particular methodology, we assessed how under different variable conditions the basin water balance respond. And this such approach actually it can be adopted in many other river basins in India. Now our next study, which I am highlighting, is an example from Gujarat. This agriculture growth in Gujarat. It is a point of discussion for at least last one decade. I've been doing this research, and I know that how much has been discussed on the agriculture growth in Gujarat and its relation to the rainfall. What our research shows that it's actually not the rainfall which you're getting in a year which will define your agriculture growth rate, but actually it is the difference between the current and the previous year rainfall that defines the agriculture growth. Now, the reason behind this is simple. Suppose, I am a farmer from Saurashtra who takes cotton. Now, when I'm sowing cotton, which is a rain-fed crop, I don't know how much rainfall I'm going to receive, because cotton is essentially a rain-fed crop, and I have to go with its sowing maybe, at mid of June without knowing how much rainfall I will get. So what you will see, the area under crops in Kharif usually doesn't vary. Even whether it's a less rainfall year or whether it's a wet year, the area sown in Kharif usually doesn't vary. But the difference you get mainly is during the Rabi or the winter season. So our analysis shows that actually it is the difference in the rainfall from the previous year which defines the agriculture growth rate. And on the right, you can see this model, which actually is quite significant, and it shows a very high R square value of 0.83, which means that 83% increase or decrease in agriculture growth rate is actually defined by how much increase or decrease a rainfall experiences in a particular year. Now, the other study which I am going to highlight here is, again, it's very important. Water, sanitation, and hygiene. The previous speaker also mentioned on how now the water usage, especially for the domestic sector, will increase. So what we did, this is one study which we did along with UNICEF. We developed a composite index to assess climate-induced risk mainly caused by floods and droughts in water, sanitation, and hygiene. And to assess these risk index, we considered three sub-indices. One was the magnitude of hazard, which basically is the severity of flood and drought. And the exposure of wash system to these hazard, I mean, how the wash system, how the water and sanitation system behave when they face such risk, and what is the vulnerability and how much community are vulnerable. So this index was developed for two states, for Maharashtra and Rajasthan. For Maharashtra, 28 different variables were used to develop the index. For Rajasthan, 31 different variables were used, which were categorized into natural, technical, socio-economic, and institutional variables. Then for each, I mean, for score was estimated for each of the sub-index, and the scoring was done in a way that higher the score, more risk it will be. And the final computed value shows that anything which is above 0.3, any district which shows a score of 0.3 is at a higher risk. Now I show you, I mean, based on the index that we developed, I show you these two maps which we generated. On the left hand side is Marathwada and Vidarbha region. On the right hand side is the Rajasthan. So you can see that whatever is above 0.3, that district has a high risk in terms of impact on water supply and sanitation and hygiene. You know, one thing you will notice, especially in case of Rajasthan, you see the Jaisalmer. You know, Jaisalmer, in spite of receiving, you know, less than 100 millimeter of rainfall, you see Jaisalmer in blue. That is the risk there is less. And one of the main reason is, you know, the supplies which they are getting from the Indira Gandhi Nair project. So in fact, most of the Western Rajasthan at this moment is covered by the water supply from IGNP. And there are also talk of supplying more water from Narmada. So that is the reason you see, in spite of high on risk, in spite of high on hazard, the risk in the western part of Rajasthan is low. Well, this is my conclusion slide, and so what we have seen is that India has a high spatial and interannual variability that affects water availability. There is need to develop methodology for holistic assessment of impact of climate variability on basin water resources and related services. Well, I have shown you some examples which we are doing, and if you are interested in knowing more, you can write to me. One important aspect is often, you know, we researchers, when we are doing such assessments, we always say that, you know, data availability is an issue. But what we see, you know, over the years, the data availability, and in fact, in terms of network of hydrological and meteorological observation stations has improved. So if you see this table on the right, you will see the standard criteria which World Meteorological Organization has given. So it varies from the mountainous to the arid area. So they say that if you have to measure stream flow, so at least there should be one gauging point for about for 1,000 to 1,000 in 1,000 square kilometer in mountainous area to 20,000 square kilometers in arid areas, which is mostly like, if we arid area, we talk about Western Gujarat, Western Rajasthan, peninsular India. So what we see that we already have a gauging station for 3,000 square kilometer. Similarly, for automatic rain gauge, we are already well within the WMO criteria. So it basically shows that in terms of our monitoring stations, in terms of you know, data availability, we have really moved well, and it should not be you know, it should not be difficult for us to carry out such assessment. Examples I have shown. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shwetal. I would like to extend thanks to Gujarat Climate Change Department, GIDA, and also WRI. In case of any further clarification, any further papers, you may feel, you know, it will be pleasure to respond. You may write to me, and I will be more than happy to respond. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitinji. I will